So I'm sure this has happened to you in a competitive game. You're about to capture the last points, say on like Hanamura, Temple of Anubis, or maybe even Volskaya Industry. You use all of your ultimates, you get a team wipe, you get a team kill, you're about to capture the last points, but then, all of a sudden, yeah, the Mei comes in, ruins your whole plan, that whole team gets back on the point, kills you guys, and you begin to cry, you begin to tilt, and you begin to question why. Just every little decision in your life. Why did you date that girl in 7th grade? Why didn't you go to that party that you knew everybody was going to, but you didn't want to because, oh, I want to play Overwatch, but then again, you didn't win that game. At that point, you're just questioning every little life decision. All because of a little situation, all because of a little problem that I think should be fixed by now in the competitive aspect. So I know I'm getting a little bit heated on this, but in this video I want to talk about the problems that I feel like should be fixed when we go into season 4, because I don't want to say these are problems per se, like it's unplayable if these are in the game. I'm talking about just stuff like the first season, how we had the attack system, how if you got attack on say like Hollywood, you automatically won the game because hey, you just have to capture the first points. It's pretty easy to do and you pretty much win the game. Of course, Blizzard got rid of that system and they just made the competitive aspect of Overwatch just a whole lot better because of these tiny improvements. They're not groundbreaking, they're not ruining the game, they're just stuff that, hey, if we got rid of it and we just kind of tweaked a little bit, it would just make the competitive aspect just a little bit better. And this just goes with the very first argument, which is contesting on the last control points on Hanamura, Volskaya Industry, and Temple of Anubis, because we've all done, don't you lie, like I said, we've all done it before. Your dog's done it, your dad's done it, your grandma's done it, I've done it, where we choose a character and we just try to stall out as much as possible. I play a whole lot of Mei, and whenever I play Mei, of course I'm going to stall out because it's in the game. It's a tool. Now, obviously, it is a cheesy way to try to get the enemy team off the points, but of course, I'm just going to use it because it's in the game. Now, say if they got rid of this, if Mei goes in her cryo freeze on the point, it's not really counted as contesting, because if I go in my cryo freeze, that's like 5 whole seconds. I think it's 7 seconds to respawn and get back into the fight, so there's only 2 seconds left for the whole enemy team just to get back on the point, and if I can survive that, then we're most likely going to get the point again. And like I said, even I get annoyed by it, and I play Mei. I play Mei a whole lot, so I would not mind seeing this just get thrown out because it would just make the control points just a lot more easier to win, because I've had countless and countless draws on Hanamura, Volskaya Industry, and Temple Anubis that's just so annoying at this point. So I don't know if they can get rid of the contesting, just exploits, because these are more exploits kind of thing. It's not a glitch, it's just more like an exploit. So I don't know if they could add more time to the respawn. I don't know what they can do. I feel like they can come up with some sort of like respawn timer increase or something like that, but as terms of Mei just going in her cryo freeze, they can easily just say, hey, if she's in her cryo freeze, then it doesn't count as contesting. If Lucio is just on Temple of Anubis and just going on the pillars, just kind of skating on the map, then that won't count as contesting. You actually have to be on the actual point. It's just easy fixes like that I think would be easy to just put in the game, and then it'll just make the control points just a lot more enjoyable to play and a lot more easier to win rather than just having draws, because nobody likes draws. Now, another exploit or problem that I've seen that I just recently found out about are the people that get in top 500 that don't really belong in top 500. What I mean by that is that some people like to queue up at say like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with 6 stacks and just go against people that are platinums, diamonds, that are like 2 stacks, 3 stacks, or even solo queue, because of the way that Blizzard's matchmaking system is, that if there's not enough people in your region that are playing Overwatch, they're just going to say, hey, screw it, let's just put people together so they can play a game, and that's how people get in top 500. They continue to win and win and win against people that really don't know what they're doing when they go against a top 500 player, and they get in top 500, but not in a respectful manner, because those are the people that, like I said, are in top 500 in your region, North America, Asia, and Australia, so they're going to be good players. Now, rightfully so, they still know what they're doing, they're still good players, but they're not pro players, they're not on a pro team, because most of the top 500 people, you're probably most likely going to know them, but if you see some rando that's like ranked, what, 40, and you've never heard of him, come on, bro, is he playing for Optic Gaming, for Luminosity? I don't even think Optic Gaming has an Overwatch. I would like to see that. But another way that they can fix this problem is just simply not queuing people up a top 500 going against a platinum. I think I can find a screenshot of literally a top 500 going against a platinum, because that just does not make sense. It's just logic at that point. Why not just make them wait, especially if they're queuing up at 3 or 4 in the morning on a 6 stack? That's their fault. They're gonna have to wait for another 6 stack to play against, because this is competitive. If you want to just just stomp on people, if you want to pub stomp on people, go into quick play and have fun like that. Now, obviously, that's not fun because they're not on the top. They're not going to reach the top 500. But again, it's competitive. It's not fair to the enemy team, and they're probably not going to play your game because you're pairing them up with a top 500 player. It just doesn't make sense. So simply don't queue them up together. Oh my god, I should be an engineer for a video game company. And that just kind of correlates with the next problem, which is 6 stacks going against 2, 3, or even solo queue stacks in competitive. And because there's nothing worse than a whole team that's communicating, that knows what they're doing, going against a team that's split up, especially on console. So I play mainly on Xbox, and I'm talking in every single game. And it's very, very, very rare where the whole entire 6 stack randos that I'm paired up with are talking and we're getting the win. Because the easiest way to win competitive games or just have a slight advantage is if everybody's communicating, everybody's using their ultimates, and you're just working together as a team, because this is a team-based game. On console, that's not the case. So what could easily fix this problem? Well, they already try to do that by implementing a button that automatically puts you into game chat, because not a lot of people know about game chat in competitive. I didn't know it for the longest time until I had to actually go into social, click the team button, but now there's an actual button for that. But sometimes people just want to go into party and just talk with their friends. They don't really want to talk with the random people, which is understandable, but it's competitive. That's a video in itself. I don't want to rant about that. So what's an easy way to negate this problem? That's not really a problem. It's more like an internal problem, not really an external problem, is not queuing against 6 stacks, against 3 stacks, 2 stacks, or solo queues, or even 4 stacks for a matter of fact. Queue 6 stacks with 6 stacks. Don't queue them with 5 stacks in a solo queue, and if that solo queue player, which is normally me, go against this 6, it's just not fair, okay? And the last problem, which this is a very hard problem. I've even made a video on this beforehand, which is the disconnecting problem and banning system in competitive Overwatch. So nobody likes levers. I hate levers. I don't respect them at all. There's only 2 things I don't like. It's a cook that puts mayonnaise on a burger. Like, why would you put mayonnaise on a burger? That just sounds disgusting, bro. The second thing is levers. I just do not like levers at all, because you just pretty much stab the team in the back right there because of your selfish attitude ways. But again, we don't really know if you left because, hey, I'm feeling trollish, I don't care about my SR, and I don't care about these 5 other dudes, I'm gonna leave the game, or girls, I don't mean to be sexist, I'm gonna leave the game because I really don't care. Or maybe you just disconnected because your internet is bad, Comcast is bad, or maybe you live in the freaking woods and your hamster's running your internet. We don't know, we do not know, but it sucks because bad internet really does take a toll on the competitive system, especially with the banning system. So if you guys don't know, I did make a video talking about my friend, how he did get banned in competitive because he continued to leave matches, not because he quit the game, but because his internet disconnected. And I made a video, I'll probably link in the description below because I don't really want to go into details, but eventually he did get banned from the competitive season. What I would like to see, obviously, like when you leave a game, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you go back into the game. But what I would like to see, people not getting banned in the competitive season, because what if you won like 100 games? That's what, 1,000 competitive points right there. But if you get banned, nope. None of that matters. None of that matters. You don't get any competitive points, and you don't get to play for the rest of the season. Maybe you have to wait 2 days, but I would rather that happen to people with bad internet than get entirely banned for the rest of the season. Now, obviously, that will kind of influence people to leave more games because, hey, there's no repercussion to leaving games because I won't get banned. But again, they're going to have to wait 2 or 3 days. They're going to forget about Overwatch eventually. They're going to forget about leaving games. It's not really going to care that much. But you shouldn't punish people that have bad internet because of people that are trollish and want to leave the games. It's kind of like a bad apple in bunch. Yeah, there's going to be those bad apples in the basket, but don't let that one bad apple ruin a delicious batch of apples. I mean, I love apples and they're healthy for you. You should eat an apple a day. Keeps... I really wanted to make a cool Overwatch pun, but of course, I'm not that cool. I'm not Sty, okay? I can't make cool videos like him. But obviously, don't ban the people that have bad internet. And again, it's hard to detect, hey, did you disconnect your router, or did you actually have bad internet that disconnected you from the game? An easy way to fix this, just don't have a banning system. Obviously, have a time limit where you have to wait so that people, when they do leave the game, hey, maybe I shouldn't leave because now I have to wait 5 freaking days just to play competitive. If that does happen because you have bad internet, well, I'm sorry, but at least you didn't get banned. At least you will get your competitive points at the very end of the season. Because like I said, what if you won 100 games? That's 1,000 competitive points right there that you do not get, that you do not earn because of bad internet. Just little problems that I feel like will just make the competitive season just a little bit more enjoyable. And now it won't make it the greatest competitive game of all time, but it'll just be a stepping stone in the right direction. Like I said before, I love competitive Overwatch, and I like to see it be like a high esport right next to League of Legends and Dota and whatnot, because it's a really good game. It's hard to follow, and this will just be a stepping stone to make it just a really, really good competitive game. It's on the way there. It is on the way there, and I'm really excited to see it. So a bit of a longer video, I know, but there was a few problems I want to go into depth and talk about, especially with the control point draws. That's a big thing that I feel like can just be easily fixed. That would just make the competitive scene just a whole lot better, because nobody likes draws. If you like draws, go draw me a picture of a penguin. I don't know. That would be a cool hero, actually. A penguin. If we have a monkey or a gorilla or a scientist, rather, why not have like a penguin or something? There's a time and a place for everything, especially when making a video. Maybe that's the next hero. F Eefy, man, make a penguin. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.